Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Padma Prasad, Senior Manager at NetApp, and I'm very excited to welcome you all to Upsurge, NetApp Accelerator's Demo Day for Cohort 10. Upsurge means a sudden and rapid rise, and that is how we've seen our Accelerator program rise and succeed in just 5 years since its inception, despite global lockdowns and a life-changing pandemic. We at NetApp truly believe that we owe this success to our core cultural value that is rooted in collaboration. Collaboration with both internal and external ecosystems. And NetApp's Accelerator program is one of our critical external collaboration platforms. NetApp Accelerator, our flagship startup program that is razor-focused on fueling innovation by partnering with deep tech startups, was launched in June of 2017. Through this program, we support global B2B startups that want to explore NetApp's expertise in the areas of hybrid cloud, storage, and data management. This 4-month program provides startups access to NetApp's technical expertise, customers, tools, technologies, and business support services. We also connect startups with ecosystem enablers and influencers to give them that extra edge in getting their solutions to market. In July of 2020, we took this program a notch higher by launching NetApp Accelerator, a program targeted specifically towards supporting women entrepreneurs. With NetApp Accelerator and Accelerator programs, we have mentored more than 65 startups from different technology areas, which include IoT, big data and analytics, deep learning, virtualization, cybersecurity, data management, Kubernetes, and more. At this point, I'd like to add that it's been a symbiotic relationship between us and the startups, because partnering with and mentoring startups has opened up a window of opportunity, innovation, and valuable learning for NetApp leaders. 5 years, 10 cohorts, 16 successful proof of concepts, and more than 65 startups have surged through our program. If you want to know more about our Accelerator program, please visit our website startup.netapp.in, where you will find all the details of the program. With that, let us begin today's event. Thank you all for taking the time to join us. Please use the chat window to send in your comments and questions about the event. Our team is actively monitoring chat and we will respond to all your queries. Also, as per our tradition for this event, NetApp will be planting 1 sapling each for the first 200 participants that join this event live. You'll receive an email from us with your plant details, and you can track the growth of your plant over the years. I'd also like to tell you that I will be asking a few questions throughout the event. All you have to do is quickly type in the right answer into the chat window. The first 3 people that type in the right answer in the chat window will win exciting gift vouchers from us. So make sure you pay attention and answer quickly. So if you all are ready, here's the first question of the day. When was the first cohort of NetApp Accelerator launched? And your options are April 2017, May 2017, June 2017, or July 2017. Please type in your answers in the chat window. The winners for this question will be announced shortly at the bottom of the screen. Now, I'd like to invite Octavian Tenace, executive sponsor of the program, to kickstart this event. Octavian is the Senior Vice President of Engineering for NetApp's Hybrid Cloud Group and is responsible for driving product innovation and customer engagement and success with NetApp's on-premises portfolio of products. Over to you, Octavian.
Welcome from California, cohort of innovators and technologists. Thank you for joining us for the Accelerate program Demo Day. Today marks the 5-year anniversary and the 10 cohort milestone, which has accelerated 66 startups over the last 5 years. The results have been incredible, and it has produced a lot of innovation, to date. The numbers don't lie. The alumni startups have raised over $300 million, with 6 startups having successful exits in the last 5 years. The Accelerated program really matters. It matters to NetApp, it matters to India. And if you've seen over the last few years, time and again, the India ecosystem for startups, it's really thriving. The success directly reflects the R&D muscle of each of you and your teams. You may already know that collaboration is deeply rooted in the NetApp's DNA, a pedigree that goes back for more than 30 years, a time when we built and released many industry firsts and bests. We team up with other companies and people around the world in a very collaborative environment, and open source is a natural extension of that collaboration skill set that we've developed over the years. Now, a few thoughts on open source, which is probably very familiar to you at a minimum as a user of, in many cases, perhaps as contributors. Open source is the epicenter of innovation. My personal support and belief in open source is rooted in experiences earlier in my career when I was at Sun Microsystems, and I participated and contributed to NetBeans and Apache, Tomcat. I would say, especially in the cloud right now, the opportunity to participate in forums like CNCFs are really meaningful because a lot of the innovation happens right there. In participation in the open source, it's a place where you truly sit on top or stand on top of the shoulders of giants. Not a bad place to be. Moreover, I would say it's a great resume builder, and it establishes your digital footprint. Contributing to an open source can boost your career, and your participation creates a digital footprint of the work that you're doing, that's something that you can be proud of. And that work translates perhaps in future jobs, opportunities, and projects. Now, you can think of this as operating in a fishbowl, a place where, everybody can see your work, your craftsmanship, and co-create with you. It's also a place where you can learn from others. There is something else. Open source has a higher purpose. It's helping democratize access to software across the world, and you can play your part and make that very, very meaningful. I support the work that you're doing in open source and the many outcomes that you're creating for customers and the broader world. Now, to really recognize what you're doing, I want to tell you that we value the partnership, and I hope that you can take each of these critical attributes with you as a challenge, to the status quo, and use cutting edge tech to develop real world solution. You're creating tremendous value for customers, current and prospective, and into a growing data management ecosystem. I want to call out Ravi Chabria and Naveen Kumar, as people who are instrumental, to this program as mentors, and for their ongoing dedication to this important innovation program, and for supporting all the innovators that are here today. It's been a pleasure seeing your bright ideas and the innovation and ideas that you guys are bringing forward. I look forward to seeing you accomplish even more and be successful in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Octavian. That was an insightful message for all of us. Next, we have Ravi Chabria, Vice President, Hybrid Cloud Engineering, and the Managing Director for NetApp India, share with us the highlights of the NetApp Accelerator program. Over to you, Ravi.
A very warm welcome to everyone today. It's indeed a milestone moment for the NetApp Accelerator program. We are now in our 5th year. We have 10 cohorts that have successfully participated in this program. 6 of them have been through very successful exits. Collectively, they've raised upwards of $300 million. As if that were not enough, our NetApp Accelerator program has gone through 11 foundational startups funded and headed by women entrepreneurs, women businesswomen. And that is something we are particularly proud of too, because of the manner in which it allows us to be able to engage ourselves in a very diverse community of entrepreneurs. So thank you all for being here. I'd be remiss if I did not thank a whole bunch of other folks in our ecosystem. our venture capitalist firms that we work with, our partners that we collaborate with, our go-to-market teams that provide the opportunity to take these very innovative solutions to market, the equity firms, the venture firms that we work with that look into these startups and nurture them as they kind of evolve into the next journey of their phase. Over the past 4 years, we've seen a very dramatic evolution. We started off with a big bang. We were acknowledged as an award-winning accelerator concept. We kind of revolutionized the way this was looked at within Bangalore, within India, actually globally also. It coincided with this surge in interest in Indian technology companies and built in India. And that kind of is also what has fueled our rise. We have very clearly evolved from what was initially a very focused effort in India to a very broad global go-to-market focus. We've had proof of concepts with customers across the world. It is equally clear now that for any business that's going to be built on data at scale, the NetApp Accelerator is an outstanding incubation forum. And I'm hoping today, as you participate with us on this 10th demo day of the NetApp Accelerator, you get to see some outstanding innovation, and you get to see how a lot of these participants are making a big difference in monetizing the vast potential that data brings to businesses. So once again, a very warm welcome and thank you for attending this 10th demo day. I'm sure you're going to walk away inspired about the big difference and transformation these startup participants are bringing to market jointly with NetApp. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. It is indeed a milestone moment for us. And it is exciting to see how NetApp Accelerator has evolved in just a few years from being an India-centric program to becoming a global incubation forum. And now, it is time to reveal the answer for the first question that we asked today. The question was, when was the first cohort of NetApp Accelerator launched? The correct answer is June 2017. And you would have got it right if you were paying attention to what I was saying in the intro segment of today's event. Check the scroll at the bottom of your screen to know if you're one of the winners. Congratulations to all the winners. You will receive a gift voucher from us via email. And for those of you who missed answering this question correctly or quickly enough, here's another chance to win these vouchers. Here's the next question for today. Who from among the following is one of the founders of NetApp? And your options are Dave Stevens, David Hitz, or Sandy Lerner. Please type your answers in the chat box and send it in quickly. We will display the name of the winners at the bottom of the screen shortly. With that, let's move on to the most interesting segment of the day, the Cohort 10 pitches, where the 8 startups will showcase what they've achieved in their 4 months of partnership with us. Audience, if you have any questions to the team that is presenting the pitch, please use the Q&A tab on your screen to post your questions. The teams are actively monitoring chat and will be answering all your queries on chat. Those of you who want to get in touch with the startups, please use the chat window to drop them a note or send an email to the email ID you see on the screen now, and we will help you connect with them. For more details about the program and to know more about the startups that are part of Cohort 10, please download our handbook, which is in the Handouts tab on the top right corner of your screen. The first startup to present their offering today is ShardSecure. Their mentor, Amarnath Rampratap, Director, Cloud Software Engineering NetApp, is going to introduce the team to us. Over to you, Amar.
Hello and welcome to NetApp Accelerator Cohort 10. My name is Amarnath Rampratap. I've been at NetApp a little over 16 years, and I manage a cloud security line of products business at NetApp. Cloud adoption has been on a rise for the past few years, and moving to the cloud is not a luxury anymore, but has become a mandate for organizations. And it's not the economics that is driving this adoption, but the requirement for organizations to be more agile, and hence a cloud strategy, if not a multi-cloud strategy, is very, very important. But this presents a unique challenge for organizations. That being said, how to secure sensitive data from the time of the migration to the cloud, and securing the data in the cloud, and also protecting them against the odds like ransomware. A company that solves this problem, and it gives me immense pleasure to introduce ShardSecure, a global InfoSec award winner of 2022, who helps customers desensitize data in a multi-cloud environment, a hybrid cloud and a private cloud environments, while reducing the management complexities and also improving business continuity. With that, let's bring the ShardSecure team.
Hello, this is Bob Lam. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ShardSecure. It's my pleasure and honor to be here today. Our mission is to help enterprise customers globally to enable the data in a hybrid cloud, multi-cloud environment to provide security and privacy and compliance. Let's talk about why there's a need for this type of product. What are the market drivers globally? First of all, globally in Europe, in Asia, in the US, there are a lot of major data privacy regulations that enterprise customers need to meet the regulations requirements. But how about moving data from one country to another? Data sovereignty is a major risk for large enterprises when they store data in a hybrid cloud environment. We make the data no longer sensitive, and that's how we help customers mitigate that risk. How about data resiliency and business continuity? NetApp is very strong in it, but we have a very interesting solution that can help customers using our software to self-reconstruct the data that is either compromised, for example, because of ransomware, but also not available because of network outages in the cloud. The other driver is we are seeing that large enterprises are moving to a hybrid cloud, multi-cloud environment. And we built our product natively based on a hybrid cloud, multi-cloud environment, but we also have very quick payback time with low overhead. Typically, you can deploy our software within a couple of hours in any of the major cloud providers, such as AWS, Azure, GCP, IBM, but also on-prem. Really, our goal is to become the premier cloud platform that provide customer security, privacy, and compliance, and work with leading storage companies such as NetApp. So how does the technology work? We break the data into single-digit bytes using our proprietary patented technology. When it is down to single-digit bytes, it's no longer sensitive. We also make those small data sets down to single-digit bytes and mix it with other unrelated, what we call microshards. And we would also add a little bit of poison data, less than 1% of the data sets, to make it almost impossible for the cyber criminals to put it back together. And then we distribute it to different storage locations. It can be on-prem data center, but we also support a multi-cloud environment. On the right-hand side, basically mention all the key leading cloud providers and on-prem data center we support. We support unstructured data, structured data, but also video data as well. We can do all this in a unified API as a virtual machine, virtual software before the data is being secured and dispersed to a hybrid cloud environment. But we also support other protocols, like SCSI, SMB, and FS as well. And we cause very little latency because we have massive parallel read and write due to the benefits of sharding. And our patent is on the micro sharding piece because we're the only company out there that can break data into single-digit bytes without compromising the performance. So why do you need us? Because of the shared responsibility model of major cloud providers. Security of the cloud is provided by the cloud providers, and we are very compatible with that. And security in the cloud is the responsibility of the enterprise customers. We are also very compatible with encryption as well. Our technologies typically layer on top of encryption. And let's talk about actual use cases. We have been shipping the product for a little over a year. We have some success with customers in the financial services and healthcare vertical. Let's talk about this referenceable customer OQ Advisors. It's a major hedge fund in New York City. They are 100% cloud native on AWS. And they are using, obviously, the encryption, key management on AWS, but they are adding us on top of encryption and key management on AWS to make sure the most sensitive data is secure and available. And one of the risks that they're going to mitigate would be ransomware in the cloud. Another bank, a major bank in the Northeast in the United States, they have a mandate to move data, sensitive data, to Microsoft Azure cloud. While they are confident that Azure will provide very good security, including encryption and key management, they have added micro-sharding, our technology, to make sure the data is very secure and available as well. And also secure data backup for this major Fortune 500 biotech company. They are in the process of moving on-prem backup to a hybrid cloud environment. And we are part of the solutions for them to make sure the data is secure in a hybrid cloud, multi-cloud environment. How about data sovereignty risk or data residency risk? So we'll be working with a European company as they move more and more data to the public cloud environments. Interestingly, currently they're using local cloud providers in Europe, but they actually would like to do that with American cloud providers such as Azure, and we will be helping them to make sure data is private and secure. We have very good channel partners in both the US, but also in Europe as well. We have some very specialized channel partners like DC Consulting, Five Sky, and a few others. But we also are on Azure Marketplace and AWS Marketplace. We also have KPMG as our go-to-market partner as well. They actually will be bundling our software into the cyber services. We have some pretty nice success in the last few months. NetApp has been very helpful being in this program, in the Accelerator program. Just around a month and a half ago, we closed a very nice Series A funding round with leading American venture capital firms. And we closed total 11.5 million Series A with leading venture capital firms, plus other investors as well, including KPMG. We have a very deep and experienced founding team in IT, especially IT security, but also financial services as well. We all have a lot of experience, raising venture capital, but also with some success in terms of providing good returns to investors with some really good exits with some of our previous companies. The problem we saw really is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. As I said earlier, if you shred the data into single-digit bytes, it's no longer sensitive. And that's why we make the data confidential. We also do an integrity check, making sure the data is not being changed. And that's why we help customers with integrity, data integrity, but also availability. I mentioned earlier that we can help the data containers reconstruct any lost or unavailable data in real time or near real time within minutes. And that's why we have a lot to do and helping the customers with data resiliency. And with that, I want to thank everybody the time and attention today.
Thank you, ShardSecure. The next startup to pitch their idea to us today is Kubermatic. And I'd like to call upon their mentor, Gaurav Makkar, Technical Director Incubation at NetApp, to introduce the team. Over to you, Gaurav.
Hi, I'm Gaurav Makkar, Director of Engineering in the Product Incubation Group at NetApp. I'm responsible for leading an engineering team that innovates in emerging business areas, leveraging technologies at the cutting edge. New products must be cloud native. That mandate is given. Containers are a fundamental enabler of cloud native technologies, and Kubernetes helps orchestrate the gazillion containers that could be spawned in a large-scale deployment. But for anyone who has worked with Kubernetes, knows about the complexity involved with managing Kubernetes in a multi-cloud deployment. Kubermatic provides an innovative platform that simplifies operations and management across edge, core, and cloud. NetApp has used components of Kubermatic's platform in engineering prototypes to deploy and manage geo-distributed infrastructure. It dramatically reduced our engineering effort and much simplified our deployments. I would now like to invite Kubermatic's team to share more information about the solution.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, CEO and co-founder of Kubermatic, and today I want to talk with you about the power through automation. So if you look into nowadays, digital leaders are cloud native, like the big corporates are moving to this. Big companies like Google are already completely cloud native. And I think if you really want to be a leader in your industry, that's the way forward. And if you look into what Gartner predicts, that nowadays 75% of the global organization will run containerized application in production, it's already a good sign that that's exactly the way forward. But at the same time, only 5% of the overall enterprise applications in production are containerized, and Gartner is predicting that this number will triple by end of 2024. So there is a huge growth into that direction. And not only that specific application moves into it, like as more and more processes inside of the organization will run containerized, and the container will be the future packaging format of your software, and Kubernetes will be the new delivery and operation model for your containerized application. So with this, you can really start recombining your processes and reconnect your processes in a much faster way. But what's required for this? We strongly believe in the future there will be one IT to rule them all. But what does it mean? So in the past, you had a lot of different silos in your IT organization. You had your Windows IT, you had your Linux IT, you had your network operation team, you had your business IT, for example, for Salesforce, SAP, or other solutions. And all of this had different operation and management ways how to operate software. And now with container and the power of the Kubernetes, it's really the possibility that we will have one IT in the future with a standard way how to operate and manage your processes, because it's really required if you need to change different areas in your processes, it's targeting different systems. So there will be in the future like this one IT which can run and operate all of your software. And this is where we think the power through automation comes into the picture, because in the past, and a lot of organizations are still there, are coming from a human-driven, workflow-driven, or event-driven operational model. But to really scale, we need to go to a machine-driven, and as a last step, really to an autonomous system, so that the machines itself are smart and capable enough to repair themselves and get the system every time back into the state what you want to have. And that the system in the future can even optimize themselves. And that's where we are strongly believing and where we are working with our customers to help them to really go into a machine-driven and have the capabilities to build autonomous systems in the future. And here, Kubernetes platform comes into place. It's a unified cloud-native operational platform, which on the one side serves the developer teams so that they can build modern applications in a cloud-native way, but also helps the operational team to operate all of this new software. But not only that, also like target the CIO, CSO, CCOs to really have one single pane of glass how you operate and manage your enterprise-grade application, also in regards of security and governing model across different environments, from the cloud to the core data center up to the edge, and also having the capability to run not only container-based applications, but also virtualized applications side by side. We are already working with a lot of different industries and verticals. So, for example, from finance over telco, retail, up to healthcare and chemical, and help them to adapt this new modern way how to operate your software in the future. So as a summary, cloud native adoption is growing fast, and you can only achieve this by an autonomous operation model. When you look into the market, it's 130 billion global cloud infrastructure service market. And we, as an independent leader in the cloud native space, as one of the top contributors in the last 3 years, we were number 8 in contributing to Kubernetes, think we can really help and enable our customers to move this new modern world and even go beyond so that they can run autonomous systems inside of their operational IT. And with this, I would like to thank you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Kubermatic. Next up is Streamingo. And I'd again like to call upon Gaurav Makkar, Technical Director, Incubation at NetApp, to introduce the team. Over to you, Gaurav.
Hi, I'm Gaurav Makkar, Director of Engineering in the Product Incubation Group at NetApp. I'm responsible for leading an engineering team that innovates in emerging business areas, leveraging technologies at the cutting edge. One of the areas we have been focused on of late has been edge solutions to enable AI-based video inferencing outside the traditional enterprise data centers. Real-time streaming video has already become the largest growing data source and threatens to overshadow all data ever generated. AI-based video inferencing is also influencing how FMCG companies evaluates its new products. They're increasingly leveraging people behavior analytics and how their customers use and interact with their products. Companies are making a shift from just relying on written feedback by a customer to observing what a customer is doing with the product. This observation-based analytics is anchored in AI-based video inferencing. Streamingo is in the sweet spot of capitalizing on this inflection point that is taking shape in the industry. I would now like to invite Streamingo to share more information about the solution.
Hello everyone, I'm Vidya Vinay, the Managing Director, Co-founder and Head of Engineering at Streamingo.AI. Today I want to talk about how Streamingo will enable the video big data ecosystem. Video data is exploding. As of 2022, 82% of the internet traffic was video data. Of this 82%, 80% of video content was user generated. So here you have so much data, but you may not even know what you have. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just search for all videos of Shah Rukh Khan dancing in a red shirt or of every square cut that Virat Kohli played? Why don't we have a solution to index what's inside a video yet? The reason is that video data is multidimensional and multimodal. What do we mean by multimodal? Multimodal means that it is composed of images, speech, text, sequences of images from which you can then get intelligence. To index video accurately, deep learning algorithms, optimized distributed compute, and advanced software engineering skills have to work in tandem so that rich information in videos become inputs to the existing business intelligence solutions. So what is the market potential and opportunity here? Using our platforms, we have recorded wins in the consumer packaged goods, sports, healthcare, and retail market segments. The world's largest CPG company is our anchor customer and is working with us year on year. Our core offering is an AI SaaS platform called DeepLabel.app. This platform has been built for scale and has rich functionality to ensure that it is easy to convert video data into structured format thereby enabling business intelligence solutions that leverage video data. So how does it work? We have built an automated workflow for capture of video data, edge AI-based pre-processing of video feeds, scalable AI analysis, and inference of video data. This automated workflow currently processes 7,000 hours of video every month. Our AI outputs feed into existing BI solutions. Our USP is the AI pipelines that have been developed to deliver highly accurate inferences. To touch on a few aspects of our journey, our expertise in video analysis is across all facets of video data. We have built capability to do cutting-edge research and to take it to production. The fruits of the first 5 years of hard work through ups and downs of business are now being realized. We are currently on the threshold of scale and outreach at this point of time. So till date, we have processed around 5 million minutes of video on our platform, and we have a pipeline of 3 million minutes of processing in the next 12 months. So just to give you a perspective, 5 million minutes is equal to 9+ years. So this is the amount of video data that has been analyzed by our AI algorithms. A human analysis would take 18 to 27 years to complete the same. So we have done this in the last 2 years. The impact of this solution is going to be humongous. Our platform-based approach has allowed us to work across multiple market segments and understand them in deep. Direct and indirect competition exists across market segments. So the CPG space competition landscape is outlined here. Our core differentiators are automation, speed, cost, and this accuracy of analysis compared to manual methods. Vinay and I founded Streamingo, and Sharad joined us soon after. Sumit joined us in 2021. Deep tech requires deep expertise. We have a fantastic team who are graduates from premier institutes and who have stuck with us together for a while now. We accrued $640K of revenue in FY22. During this year, we crossed an important milestone of $1 million cumulative revenue from our anchor customer. For a deep tech company, sustained revenue from marquee customers validates the product market fit very strongly. So the plan is to consolidate our position in at least 2-3 market segments in this coming year. In the next 18 to 24 months, we expect to be strategically placed in the market leader quadrant. And how will we get there? So today our business model has a service that is building new models and a SaaS component that is repeated processing of videos using a pre-built model. We are actively working on enabling a SaaS offering that will allow pipelines of models to be used across different customers in a market segment. The Streamingo business model will revolve around monetization of pre-built pipelines that address specific use cases across a specific market segment. The potential of this new revenue stream is exciting. In the future, every video intelligence will have Streamingo Intel inside. We look forward to building a business relationship with all of you. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Thank you, Streamingo. Before we move on to the next pitch of the day, we are going to shift focus just for a few minutes to reveal the correct answer to our second question of the day and announce the winners. The question was, who from among the following is one of the founders of NetApp? And the answer is David Hitz. David Hitz, along with James Lau and Michael Malcolm, founded NetApp in 1992. I hope many of you got that answer right. Don't forget to check out the winners in the scroll at the bottom of the screen. Each of the winners will be receiving an exciting gift voucher from us. And here's the third question of the day. Data ONTAP is NetApp's flagship data management software. What inspired the software to be named ONTAP? And your options are the Ontario City, beer, a sports car, optical network terminal. Please type in your answers in the chat window. The first 3 correct answers will receive a gift voucher from us. Now back to Cohort 10 pitches. Next up is RXOOM, and their mentor Manish Thakur, Principal Product Manager at NetApp, will introduce the team to us. Over to you, Manish.
Hello, everyone. I'm Manish Thakur. I'm Principal Product Manager at NetApp. I am part of the Cloud Volume Services organization. For the last couple of months, I have been working very closely with one of the startups that have been part of our NetApp Accelerator program. This is a startup called RXOOM, and they have a very exciting product which really aligns very well with the goal of Make in India. Their goal is to overall impact the healthcare market, make accurate and precise surgeries available to a larger set of customers. They have developed for the first time in India a surgical navigational system that enables surgeons to have much better outcomes with their surgeries. So to know more about this product, I'd like to introduce Dr. Nilesh, who is one of the co-founders of this company, to tell us more about his venture and this product. So over to you, Nilesh. Thank you.
Last decade is all about data analytics and artificial intelligence. There is a huge advancement in data analytics and artificial intelligence causing a surgical imaging and image processing. It would be a waste if we cannot use these advancements to help our surgical friends. Here we are empowering the neurosurgeons with data analytics driven image processing in their surgery to improve their accuracy and precision. We are introducing a new age neuronavigation system, also called image guidance system. Let me walk you through.
Brain surgeries are very precise surgeries with a very less margin of error. The tumors which are beautifully seen on MRI, but as the brain is located inside the hard skull, you cannot locate it and you have to rely on standard anatomical landmarks, but those has individual variations. To solve this problem, neuronavigation is a standard equipment used in neurosurgical theaters. It tells the surgeon exact amount of bone opening to be made on the skull for removal of the tumor. It is similar to GPS we use while traveling to find the shortest path to the destination using map. Here, MRI of the patient serves as the map. Neuronavigation has three parts. One is the infrared camera which emits the light and sends it back. Another is a software where you can visualize the MRI, do the planning about the opening. And third is the instruments with a reflector ball which reflects the IR light back to the camera. Once we position the patient in operating room, we place this reference closest possible to the patient's head. Once the camera sees the reference and it identifies it. Now using this calibrated probe, we tell the system where exactly this patient is located with respect to this reference. Once this registration process is done, you can actually navigate using this calibrated probe over the patient's head. And now we can locate the position of the tumor as seen on MRI on patient's head. It helps the surgeon in deciding the extent of skull opening needed for optimal removal of the tumor, as well as taking the shortest path to reach the tumor which are buried inside the brain surface. Once the tumor is removed, we check its removal by putting the tip of the probe along the margins of the tumor cavity to confirm the complete excision of the tumor. And thus, neuronavigation improves the outcomes of brain surgeries and minimizes the neurological deficits associated with it.
So it is so much essential equipment in the neurosurgical armamentarium. So much so that it is a standard of care or a mandatory equipment for Western neurosurgical societies. However, only 7% of Indian neurosurgeons have access to it, and that too restricted in metro cities. Why? Most important is cost is prohibitively high for Indian scenario. Second one is because of the regulatory issues and older technology adoption, the head clamp is a prerequisite for using navigation in the currently available system, which itself is a big obstacle. Third one is because of low penetration in the market, the service and repair is managed from Western offices, which causes unacceptable delays. And last is, even a minor customization is not possible with current systems. So with this, with the lack of neuronavigation equipment, the neurosurgeon compensates it with his experience and multiple checks. However, it invariably causes fatigue, stress, and at the end, suboptimal outcomes. So here we are with a world-class product, highest quality in accuracy and precision. And we are sourcing the components from best-in-class vendors. Secondly, and most important, the costs are designed in consideration with Indian scenario, even considering the third-tier city neurosurgeons. We are best in optical camera, display, surgical equipments, and we have 3 patents in line. Let me introduce you to my team. Sanjay comes with a 20 years of experience in engineering. Myself, I am a Dr. Nilesh Kurwale, working as a directing epilepsy surgery center at Dinanath Mangeshkar Hospital for last 8 years. And Dr. Sundar Rajan, he comes with 30 years of industry experience running the industries across. Navigation market is 1.2 billion market, and it is ever growing. We are eyeing just to 10 to 15% of it. Float around 15 to 20 odd machines in next financial year. We're trying to raise $2 million in the next series, which will be mostly spending towards engineering and sales and marketing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, RXOOM. Edufuse is the next startup that will pitch their offering to us. And I'd like to call upon their mentor, Priyesh Ramaya, Senior Director, Software Quality, to introduce the team. Over to you, Priyesh.
Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to the Demo Day event. I'm Priyesh Ramaya, Senior Director at NetApp. I lead a central test engineering organization that collaborates with 75 different teams across NetApp and a few vendors to deliver multiple software and hardware products. In a nutshell, we execute 2 million tests every week and deliver 60 plus software releases every year. That said, I would like to introduce Edufuse, an IT Patna startup that's working towards transforming higher education institutes through digitization and process reengineering. Their plug-and-play modules are going to make EdTech digital infrastructure frictionless, as laid out in National Education Policy 2020. To share more details, I would like to invite Ritika Singh.
Hi everyone, hope you are all doing well. This is Kumari Ritika Pandey from Edufuse Private Limited. And before proceeding ahead, I'd like to give a brief introduction about Edufuse. So we are working towards bringing the revolution in digital infrastructure of educational institutes, making them future ready. We do strongly believe that the digital infrastructure of the education system is in dire need of transformation. And why I'm saying that? So let's discuss the problems. We have many esteemed HEIs in our country, but over the time, it is observed that the digital infrastructure of HEI needs to be revamped. Why I'm saying that? Because massive manual effort leading to high manpower cost, burnt out staff, errors and stress. Also, there is siloed department, which is causing disintegration and dysfunctioning of the workflow. Also, there are lack of accurate and thorough information. These problems will be magnified by the introduction of government's new education policy, which is National Education Policy NEP 2020. So let's see that what could be the possible solutions. So we have conceptualized 4 verticals to comprehensively address the problem. These are digitization and migration, process re-engineering, highly customizable automation solutions, and independent and unique data analytics. How many of you know that the demonetization moment of education system is arriving soon and is here only? So National Education Policy 2020 will be a game changer for a player like us. And what demonetization was to fintech, NEP will do exactly the same to edtech. Also, there are some of the many key features mentioned in this slide. So these are bringing the multidisciplinary culture, global standard of quality education in HEI's higher education institutes, academic bank of credit, setting up MERUs to make other institutes parallel to IIMs and IITs and to ensure good quality of education in them as well. What will it take? So to transit to NEP 2020, institutes will have to overhaul their current digital infrastructure. And we have to focus on the community, which are students and staffs, rather than focusing on the institutions only. And at Edufuse, the current modules are already built with the future in mind. While we are already creating value for HEIs by connecting all the broken systems and bridging all the gaps, the exponential values of Edufuse will be realized as soon as NEP 2020, and the government will force the institutions to overhaul their digital infrastructure. How it works? So traditionally, as you can see here, that there is a document vault, a large cabinet, and there are also involvement of hard copy. But Edufuse is taking everything digitally. We have meta info of document, soft copy from DMS can be fetched anywhere, anytime, and intelligence character recognition. Why this is an A-class team? So these two pictures are depicting the transformation of IIT Patna. Back in the year 2008, IIT Patna was nothing but a small village. But today, it has been transformed into the state-of-art campus, loaded with all the modern amenities, fuels the engine that propels the wheels of development. Same thing we are going to do with EdTech infrastructure. Having set up a precedent with IIT Patna, we are ready for more. So basically, we are now focusing on these three verticals in any higher education institute, which are administration, teaching staff, and students. So we are targeting to provide different solutions to all these three verticals, and these are listed below. So administration would be benefited by our solutions by getting digitization and automation of institution processes, campus and state management, robust access to information and analytics anywhere, anytime, leveling workload of faculties. Now let's see that how faculties and students will be benefited by Edufuse. So Edufuse will establish e-library with remote and multiple access. Extracurricular activities will be hiked by Edufuse, and there will be equal emphasis on research and development as well. Also, there would be a tracking of academic life cycle of each student and teaching staffs as well. Every single year, every HEI and technical university has to encounter 250 plus processes in its administration. Also, it has to take care of 2,500 students and 7,500 alumni. Also, there are 350 plus working employees in higher education institutes. These are some testimonials by Dr. Vijay and Dr. Shashwat Pathak that you can see here. Let's connect the dots, let's bridge the gap, and let's be a part of this seamless journey of transforming educational institutes in India.
Thank you, Edufuse. Next up is the presentation from SubCom, and I'd like to call upon their mentor, Srinath Rajgopal, Technical Director, NetApp, to introduce the team. Take it away, Srinath.
Hello, everyone. I'm Srinath Rajgopal. I'm a Technical Director here at NetApp, focused on building solutions that help our customers secure their data. In today's digital world, threat actors are targeting everyone, including large enterprises, small, medium businesses, and critical infrastructure. Their aim is to disrupt our society and cause harm. The devices that we use to create and consume information, like our mobile devices, IoT sensors, and edge devices, have very limited resource like compute and memory to constantly evaluate for this threat. In this complex environment, how do you build products and solutions that can intrinsically make decisions within seconds on whether something is an anomalous event or not? We here at NetApp are very passionate about solving this problem, and so is the team at SubCom. Our human brains are conditioned to sensing threat in our environment instinctively. This has been SubCom team's inspiration and how they're planning to tackle this massive challenge. I invite Antar Wick, founder of SubCom, to talk more about this. Over to you, Antar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Antar, and I'm delighted to be here. We are SubCom, a deep tech cybersecurity startup, and we are on a mission to build the world's most performant security automation for distributed data and devices. Data usually outlives the systems that create it. We often forget how much, how vividly, and for how long the internet remembers. Lately, we have taken it on ourselves to feed the internet with the most sensitive information while being oblivious to the fact that crime moves where the money is. And on the internet, data is money. So unless our security paradigms also scale proportionally, we are ushering in cybercrime at the same breakneck speed at which we are creating and sharing data. Here is the bad news. Even with the right intentions and allocation of disproportionate resources, our security paradigms are in bad shape. Cybercrime is thriving. In fact, it is flourishing so well that if it were a country, it would be the third largest economy in the world. Our sensitive data is being pawned as we speak. So why is cybercrime? Why is cybersecurity in shambles? Well, the two biggest reasons are lack of defense automation and over-reliance on users' good judgment. Let's start with the lack of automation first. This is how a security pipeline looks today. Cybersecurity solutions are fed with pre-digested logs, due to which the threat classification is delayed by hours and weeks. Almost half of the alerts generated by these solutions are false. This alert fatigue overwhelms the security teams, who are required to analyze these alerts and remediate threats manually. Sadly, in successful breaches, the attacker gets access to resources before the security team receives the alert. So the likelihood of an attacker tampering with the logs before they are processed is very high. Hence, it is no surprise that we still take over 200 days to identify a breach. Now let's get to the second big reason, the users being the weakest link in the chain. Over 95% of breaches are due to human error, that is, people being careless or susceptible. The most obvious solution to the problem is to train people to be more vigilant and thorough. However, it's easier said than done. About 5% of workforce clicks malicious links even after phishing training. Phishing attacks are so sophisticated that even if you tie your users to their chairs and glue their hands to their desk, they will use their tongues to lick the link. Hence, reliance on users' judgment for security is a non-starter. As we look into the future of metaverses and autonomous vehicles, we will have to be wary of the inadequacies of our existing security paradigm and its inability to scale to protect the devices of tomorrow. About 60% of successful breaches originate from the endpoints. And as per Cisco, there'll be 500 billion IoT devices by 2030. That means the threat surface will explode by more than 10 times. A driverless car, if compromised, even for a few seconds, could result in damages significant enough to put the entire use case at risk. We can no longer afford to rely on cyber defenses that take days, weeks, and sometimes even months to discover and remediate threats. We need nimble, highly performant, and real-time security. We need paradigms that embrace automation and are performant despite user slip-ups. That's exactly what we are building at SubCom. We are starting by completely automating security pipeline on devices. Our proprietary ultra-compact agents are adept at observing and assessing endpoints in real time. Aided by our tiny ML, they publish a comprehensive status of security in the form of an easy-to-understand number that we call TrustCo. TrustCo helps users and security teams assess their device's security posture and automate access management. That means they can grant, modify, or terminate privileges in real time. The agent issues verified and cause-attached alerts. Hence, it also allows for the automation of identification and isolation of threats. So how are we able to process and classify so much data on the edge in real time? The answer lies in our biointelligence-inspired habituation neural fabric. At SubCom, we are in awe of biointelligence, especially in the ability to ignore what is certainly not important before it processes what could be important. Let me elaborate with an example. When we wear a shirt, we feel it on our skin for a while. However, throughout the day, we fail to feel and often forget what we are wearing. This is our brain's way of optimizing compute by ignoring the stimuli that have no new information. We call this dynamic habituation. However, if an insect crawls up on our shirt, we immediately notice. The magic of biointelligence lies in its ability to not only dynamically habituate, but also effortlessly detect novelty when it occurs. This intelligence architecture can be exploited magically in cyber defense, which is why our habituation neural fabric that powers our agents processes data at a blazing pace and effortlessly picks up anomalies. A tiny ML classifies these anomalies on the edge itself to generate a trust score that allows for the automation of defense in real time. The brains behind the tech is my co-founder and CTO, Dr. LivingSense. He's a PhD in computational neuroscience from India's premier bioresearch institute, NCBS Bangalore. He's also an alum of IIT Bombay and has authored multiple research papers on brain and computer architecture. To introduce myself, I am an alum of IMA. I have 5 years of corporate and 8 years of entrepreneurial experience. I scaled my last tech venture to over $40 million in ARR. We recently raised a seed round from Honest VC, Entrepreneur First, and a few highly accomplished angels. SubCom is currently in private beta and will launch to public in the next quarter. To close things off, I want to draw your attention to this alarming statistic. The least we owe to small businesses is a fair fight, and we will stop at nothing to make that happen. We are SubCom, and we are looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, SubCom. Before we go to the last two pitches of today, here's the answer to question number 3. The question that I asked you was, Data ONTAP is NetApp's flagship data management software. What inspired the software to be named ONTAP? The correct answer is beer. Believe it or not, David Hitz, one of our founders, envisioned data to flow freely just like beer through a tap. I hope you're all enjoying these trivia questions about NetApp. Don't forget to check the scroll at the bottom of your screen to know if you're one of the winners. Here's the 4th question of the day and yet another chance for you to try and win those gift vouchers. The question is, what was NetApp's original name? And your options are NetApple, Network Appliance, Network Systems and Applications. Please type in your answers in the chat window. The winners of this question will be announced shortly. Coming back to the pitches of the day. Next up is the pitch from LivingSense. And we have Matt Herford, Vice President, Solutions Engineering for Asia Pacific, introduce the team to us. Over to you, Matt, and thank you for joining us from Sydney today.
Hi, my name is Matt Herford, and I'm the VP for Solutions Engineering in Asia Pacific for NetApp. I'm here to introduce LivingSense, a very exciting startup who we've just taken into our Accelerate program. I was intrigued by LivingSense because I think they solve a problem that's dear to my heart, and that's looking at how we can be more environmentally responsible and reduce our carbon footprint. And they're focusing on some of the industries that produce a lot of carbon dioxide, from smelting through to cement manufacturer. And they have some uniqueness in the way they do this by capturing more data points to build better AI models and digital twins to enable organizations to not only tune the amount of energy they're consuming, but also inputs like the amount of raw materials that go into those production processes. So to hear more about LivingSense and their solution set, I'd like to introduce the co-founders of the company.
Thank you, Matt, for your kind words. I'm Priyanka here from LivingSense. I want to introduce our GreenOps platform, which helps to reduce GHG carbon emission across the globe. We use a unique technology called energy balance approach and AI models. We all know that carbon intensity offset is the new gold. And also, we need to reduce approximately 18 gigatons of carbon. The problem here is, in energy-intensive industry, 33 gigatons of carbon is emitted, with the major contributors being petrochemicals, chemicals, oil and gas, and iron and steel. This industry cannot do away with fossil fuels, and they emit 63% of GHG carbon. These industry cannot use the newer technology like green hydrogen because this is too costly, and secondly, it impacts the whole of the value chain. The market opportunity here, the TAM is 200 billion, the SAM is 5 billion, and SOM is 1 billion. These are the key factors for GHG carbon emissions, and we have come up with a holistic strategy to tackle this carbon lock-in problem. We have a 4-step process. We collect the data in real time, be it SCADA system, DCS system, or PLC systems, and then we try to analyze the data in real time, apply our AI models, and create a digital twin of the factory. Hence, deliver the carbon offset. We have been delivering 1.5 megatons of GHG carbon emissions across various industries, be it petrochemical, chemical, metals, or utilities. This is one of our success story in aluminum smelting plant. When we visited the plant, the case study which was given to us was to reduce the carbon emission and to also reduce the usage of the raw material. So what we did was we collected the data from all the sources, and to our surprise, just by tweaking in the pot temperature and bringing it to 950 to 960 degrees centigrade, we were able to reduce the ALF3 by 5% and a carbon reduction of 6.7%. So you can see, friends, just by using our platform and tweaking in these parameters, we could create magic in the aluminum smelting plant. Our platform is a SaaS-based platform which just takes 2 to 4 weeks for deployment and in cloud or on-prem. This is our business model: Basic, Advanced, and Platinum. Basic deals with just assessment and real-time assessment of the plant and understanding what parameters can be tweaked in. Advanced is a process monitoring and predictive analysis. And Platinum would be how much of carbon saving can be given to the plant. This is our go-to-market strategy: sell to, sell through, and sell with. Sell to is direct customers, be it Chevron Phillips, Vedanta, Daimler, etc. Sell through is through our consultants and system integrators like ABB, Wipro, and Altair Engineering. Sell with is through a technology partner, be it SAS, SAP, Intel, or NetApp. This is our revenue projection: 40% coming from our direct sales and 30% each coming from our channel partners and OEMs. We have a very healthy pipeline of $2 billion this year. We have newly acquired a deal of about $1 million in US for a smelting plant, which needs to reduce the carbon offset problem. For that, the ask is about $5 million, which would be used across R&D, sales, and customer support. This is our founding team: Avanish, Priyanka, Azad, and Rajan. We all come from diverse experience and expertise, but we stitch together in the fact that we all want to solve the carbon offset problem. We are very proud to have Ashwin Parekh, Varad, Sanjeev, and Will as part of our advisory team. These are our awards and accolades. We have filed about 5 patents, out of which 1 is guaranteed. And these are our recent award being from Power Ministry and UNIDO, which we are very proud to receive. I welcome you all to join this journey of reducing the net zero carbon. Thanks for your patient listening, and thank you very much.
Thank you, LivingSense. The final pitch of the day is from Aquinox. And I'd again like to call upon Amarnath Rampratap, Director, Cloud Software Engineering, to introduce the team. Take it away, Amar.
Hello and welcome to NetApp Accelerator Cohort 10. My name is Amarnath Rampratap. I've been at NetApp for a little over 16 years. And in my current capacity, I manage the cloud security line of product business at NetApp. Digital and data center transformations have changed how organizations operate. And the nuances of agile development and DevOps have revolutionized the software development and delivery, enabling organizations to respond to their customer requirements much faster. And cloud is in the epicenter of all of this revolution, enabling organizations with the agility that is required for DevOps teams to deliver faster. However, there is a strategic concern of operating in the cloud, that is security. Just the normal security controls of the past are not going to be enough for the cloud world and the hostility it presents today. Zero trust is a strategic approach of cybersecurity that secures an organization by eliminating implicit trust and continuously validating every stage of digital interaction. That is, Aquinox is a company that enables customers with security observability, with application insights, and also vulnerability scanning alongside continuous monitoring and runtime security for applications in a DevOps infrastructure to identify, mitigate, and remediate security risks with zero trust approach for network, application, and data. With that, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Aquinox team, and let's bring them online.
Good morning, good afternoon, early evening to the folks in India. Nat Nataraj, co-founder, CEO of Aquinox. Immense thanks to the entire audience, to the NetApp Accelerator team. You've been a delight to work with. In the next few minutes, I'll tell you about why should you care about Aquinox. At the end of the day, you listen to a lot of presentations, your head scratches, and you say, what did I hear? What did I learn about? So that's, I'll give you a few walkaways or something for you to go back to it about why should you care about Aquinox. Software is eating the world. This is perhaps the most used, abused, overused term, but it happens to be true. Practically every aspect of modern living has been increasingly impacted by software, digital transformation. That's a great news. What is the flip side? Flip side is how are you securing your software? There's more coming. This is what the software supply chain looks like. It is incredible the amount of talent, worldwide talent, which gets marshaled into producing world-class software today, which is great. Today, there'll be over 2.2 trillion open source pull requests, which is fantastic. All that's amazing productivity, creativity for us. There's the bad news. Over half of Docker Hub images have critical flaws. And this is how it manifests. We saw the SolarWinds attack. We saw other attacks like Log4j. And these are not casual attacks. These are not attacks by amateur. These are very, very professional attacks. We did our own research and we looked at every attack in 2021. And we found that these sophistication of attacks are so significant that you as a business have to worry about it. And this is how it manifests. A day doesn't go by when we don't see in the front page a very, very major critical attack of data or application. US Department of Defense, which is one of the most security savvy organizations in the world, said zero trust has to be adopted. This was 2 years ago. And this is fantastic. This is precisely the problem we've been working on from day one when we started Aquinox. Zero trust says that you either have been attacked or you will be attacked. And so you have to be in a state of high vigil. And you have to do continuous compliance. And that's precisely what we provide in terms of a full enterprise platform for you to be able to deploy this in your public cloud, private cloud, multi-cloud as the case might be. And big complex problems require a very, very sophisticated intellectual capital. We're working with Stanford Research Institute, which is one of the most seminal inventors in the world, which has been a part of every modern day invention that we live with. We worked with them. They're an investor in the company. They're an ongoing technology partner and helps us be future-proof in our technical capability. We've got one of the most comprehensive zero trust platforms in the world. We run on public clouds, private clouds. We support your workloads, your current workloads, and your emerging workloads such as IoT, Edge, and 5G. Seeing is believing. A picture is worth 1,000 words. We provide you a single pane of glass for you to look at every event, every asset in your organization, and the security impacts it might have. We give you full observability of everything at the L3, L4, L7 level. We recommend a set of policies be automatically generated. We let you apply those policies in a very fine-grained way. We give you full telemetry. We provide you an unsupervised learning-based anomaly detection for you to do continuous compliance. Open source is really how modern software is being consumed. And in keeping with this, we have a very comprehensive open source strategy. Our platform has been adopted as CNCF and has received over 160,000 downloads. You don't have to take my word. Some of the industry gurus worldwide, IDC and the like, have sung our praises. Amazing awards from every corner of the industry and every corner of the world. Patents. Every company needs to have some differentiated moats in Warren Buffett's term. We've got over 15 patents in every aspect of zero trust. Amazing team. Very pleased with some of the team members who ship software, market-leading software. Equally importantly, we've got some amazing advisors. These are gurus in every aspect of cloud security, container security, microservices security. They're either advising us or investors in us. Very pleased with the traction we're getting from end customers, from partners, and the KubeArmor open source downloads. In summary, we're seeking a $5 million investment, seasoned team, amazing product, capital efficient execution. All that translates into shareholder value. We would love to talk to you. Thank you for your time. A few takeaways. We're addressing a large market, right product, right tech, deep partnership, and we are obsessed about customer satisfaction and shareholder value creation. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Aquinox. Those were our 8 phenomenal startups. Let's have a big round of virtual applause for them. Now that we've heard all the 8 pitches, I'd like to ask the audience to take a poll and let us know which startup did you think had the most impressive pitch today. Please provide your opinion in the poll tab on the top right corner of your screen. We'll give you a few seconds to complete your poll. Thank you all for answering the poll question. Before we move to the next segment, let me give you the answer to the 4th question of the day. The question was, what was NetApp's original name? And the correct answer is Network Appliance. In 2008, we officially changed our name from Network Appliance to NetApp to reflect the nickname by which we were already well known by then. The names of the winners are displayed in the scroll at the bottom of the screen. And if you are one of the winners, congratulations. Look out for an email from us with your gift voucher details. Now for the most awaited segment of tonight, the awards ceremony. Awards are not just an acknowledgement of success. They recognize many other qualities like ability, struggle, effort, and above all, excellence. Tonight, we have 3 categories of awards to celebrate the work of the 8 startups that were part of Cohort 10. And the categories are Best Growth Strategy Award, Investor's Choice Award, and the Most Innovative Product Award. The first category for this evening is the Best Growth Strategy Award. Growth strategy is a company's strategic plan to increase sales revenue and market presence. And agility is the key to growth for any company, especially for startups. So let us see who among the 8 had the best strategy for growth. To announce the winner of this category, we have with us today Harnath Babu, partner and CIO, KPMG India. Over to you, Harnath.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Harnath Babu, and I'm the CIO for KPMG in India. We have seen an immense growth in the number of startups in the last few years, and India has become the third largest ecosystem with more than 100 unicorns. Unique ideas to solve problems which needed attention, focused on technological solutions which are disrupting the established industries. Today, I'll be announcing the Best Growth Strategy Award. It's a platform which is a unique enterprise AI technology which is venturing into address the net zero challenge. It's a noble cause, and LivingSense wins the award. Congratulations, LivingSense.
Thank you, Harnath, and many congratulations to LivingSense. Now, let's move on to the next award category, which is the Investor's Choice Award. Investors are the backbone of the entrepreneurial sector and play a crucial role in boosting the technological potential of a company. So let's see who among our startups have impressed our investors the most with their innovative ideas and execution strategy. To announce this award, I'd like to invite on screen Nida Sahar Rafi, founder of Knife.io. Over to you, Nida.
Hi, I'm Nida. I'm the founder of Knife.io. I was a part of NetApp Accelerator Cohort 7, especially NetApp Accelerator. Knife is an edge-to-cloud application lifecycle management platform. We automate DevOps, manage, deploy, and scale applications in a hybrid environment, in a hybrid multi-cloud environment. Modeling and computing trust in a distributed environment is extremely challenging. It's important to compute trustworthiness of individual nodes and check on malicious behaviors. Hence, I'm happy to announce the Investor Choice Award to SubCom.
Thank you, Nida, and congratulations, SubCom. The final award category for tonight is the Most Innovative Product Award. Innovation changes the way we live our lives. It is the driving force that encourages us to go beyond boundaries and find opportunities. It opens our minds to new possibilities. The precise combination of market timing and technical expertise is what creates the most innovative product. Let us see which of these startups has bagged this award. And to announce the winner of this category, we have with us Vasanthi Ramesh, Vice President Engineering at NetApp. Over to you, Vasanthi.
Hello all, I'm Vasanthi Ramesh. I head the engineering for data manageability and protection products at NetApp. Today, I'm happy to present the winner of the most innovative product for Cohort 10 startups. This product uses micro-sharding to shred, mix up, and distribute data into multiple cloud locations in a way that ensures zero data sensitivity. This solution mitigates the risk of cyber attacks while providing total privacy for cloud-stored or on-prem data. The winner is ShardSecure.
Thank you, Vasanthi, and many congratulations, ShardSecure. Very well deserved. Many congratulations to all the 8 startups of Cohort 10 for the amazing work you've done. Whether or not you won the award today, we believe all of you are winners in your own right as you have taken a step forward to better the world with your innovative ideas. And we at NetApp wish each of you the very best in all your future endeavors and hope that your journey forward is a fruitful one. As we wind down for the day, I'd like to quickly remind the audience that the first 200 participants that joined the event today will be receiving the details of their saplings via email, and you can track the growth of your plants over the years. Also, if you have any questions to the startups that pitched their offerings to us today, please use the Q&A tab on the screen to post your questions. Those of you who want to get in touch with the startups can use the chat window or drop us an email, and we will connect you with the respective teams. Finally, don't forget to check out the handbook at the top right corner of the screen. You can always visit startup.netapp.in to know more about the NetApp Accelerator program. Thank you once again for joining us today and participating in NetApp Accelerator Demo Day for Cohort 10 Upsurge. You've been a great audience. Have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.